Hey guys, what's up? We're Unfathomable Ruination. You're listening to Fresh Roasted Metal.
Yeah, all right. What's up, guys? We are back. It is Fresh Roasted Metal. How you all doing today? In our co-hosting today, we have our brother, Mr. Doug Michael, researcher and author.
How's it going?
What's going on, bro?
Oh, man.
And then we got our boy Brian, the Vampire King, joining us. Yeah, how you doing, Brian? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah. All right. So, all right, guys, SGBC, it is a exciting time for us today because we are interviewing Unfathomable Ruination. I always fuck that word up.
I know,
Unfathomable Ruination.
What's
That's
that?
all right.
Yeah, we got Doug and Jake. How you guys doing, man?
Yo,
Good, mate.
Yeah, we're good.
Good
We're
to be
good.
here.
Okay, so look, man, we found you guys. I was telling you earlier, we found you guys, and we did the video for the Defying Symphony of Universal Dissonance.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's a nice, easy one to roll off the tongue.
Yeah, I know, man. I was like, shit. You know? So
between that and the band name, it's fucking impossible to get it right.
yeah,
dude,
man.
love it though.
I mean, it's cool for editing and bloopers, man, because we had to stuff over and over. Yeah. So this is a new chapter for you guys, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Because Malika just joined us on vocals, so
Yeah.
it's been a whole new thing since that happened.
Since we just got to know you and our family here is getting to know you, can you guys kind of give us like just a little rundown and how the new incarnation of this is how it formed?
Who knows with me?
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Well, our old vocalist Ben had to leave the bands about 9 months ago now. Just personal stuff going on in his life. So we started searching for vocalists pretty much straight away. And the number one, well, at the top of our list, straight from the bat, was Malika, because she had actually played live with us before in the past, which was cool. She filled in a show in Paris like a long time ago. And we didn't really know what sort of stage she was at in terms of like playing shows, because she obviously used to be in Abnormality for a long time and then quit to have kids and stuff.
Wow.
But it was just convenient, perfect timing for us really, because she had just started thinking about getting back into doing a band. We were looking for a singer, and she's always been a fan of ours and we're a fan of hers, so it was kind of just a match made in heaven, really.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
man, dude. I mean,
She's a good fit, I'll tell you that, man.
Yeah, she is.
I couldn't believe how brutal. At first, I was like, "Is that a woman singing that?" It's crazy, man. Yeah, very,
Yeah, she
very brutal sound. It's awesome.
yeah. Now you guys, when I looked you up, you guys were listed as technical brutal death metal, man. So where
I love
you
that.
guys had to add another one to you. That's how brutal you are, man. So what is technical brutal death metal versus just technical death metal, man?
I guess like since the band started, we've always had like that push towards that super, super heavy, like disgorgy kind of influence, kind of Dying Fetus stuff, where it's more emphasis on like guttural vocals, sometimes just like indecipherable chaos in the riffs. It's technical, but it's not necessarily like shreddy, clean, kind of like you can hear every single thing that's going on. It's more of a vibe and a feeling and an organic, just kind of like, in your face wall of sound kind of thing going on.
Oh.
So I guess people like to call it brutal technical death metal.
I mean, dude,
As they should.
and it's kind of what you feel yourself saying when you listen to it, man, because it really was. We were sitting there just after we watched it again, and I'm like, dude, her voice, man, just has there's some, since we've got you guys here, I want to ask you guys this question since you're in a band. I have this debate with people all the time about how they say vocalists who do extreme screaming and things like that, they all sound the same. And I always have this argument, man, because they don't all sound the same. So my question to you guys, have you guys, number one, do you get that a lot as a band with her? And what do you guys feel about stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, so like Ben, who did vocals for us before, he had a really fucking distinct sound as well. Some of the filth that used to come out of his mouth was like, it used to make me laugh when we were jamming, like make like the toilet bowl noises and the fucking the dying fucking goat noise and all that shit.
Yeah.
So
I remember the horses.
The horses. Yeah, you go through like farmyard animals, and there's like there's loads of bands that sort of do that. So yeah, without, you don't want it to be comical, like just like someone farting over the mic or anything. But yeah, like Malika as well. Like we knew she had some range. Like towards the end, Abnormality, she could kind of like gone more like mid, like more like a MIDI sound.
Yeah.
But then she did an EP with her husband, Serge Nidoros, Serge and Milan from Epicard Exme. And she sent us that demo, and it's utter filth. Yeah. And we were like, boom, like that's what we want.
More of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. In that genre of modern death metal, the women seem to be dominating more in the vocal department than the men because they have a little bit more dynamic range in the modern stuff. I noticed that. Yeah,
she can hit some really good high notes. I think she's actually got quite a good singing voice as well. Like she's never actually recorded, but I've heard her sing, and she like does like singing vocal warm-ups and stuff, doesn't she? Like she goes through like octaves and does all like the la-di-da-di-da and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like Ben never did. He would just, drink a fucking beer and go out and make noise. It worked, and it was fucking great. But like
it's interesting seeing they're different.
Yeah, they're totally different. Both excellent in their own right, but like different approaches, different techniques, and it's just it's fucking awesome to sit there and have someone, come in, and she just effortlessly, like first jam, glided in, fit right in.
It was cool having someone like blow our minds in a different way. It's never going to be like a one-for-one replacement, and you don't want that. And like you're saying, it's nice hearing two vocalists. If you're comparing like our ex-vocalist Ben to Malika, they don't sound the same. They have totally different approaches. Everything about them is completely different, and it's people are going to have to, fans of the bands are going to have to adapt to the new sounds because it's a totally different type of vocalist. And I'm hoping people like it because we really fucking like it. So.
Well, see, that's cool for us because we don't know. Like, I haven't listened to anything with the vocalist from before, so this is kind of just like a whole fresh new band for us. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. We're not. There's no way for us to like sit here and say, "Oh, well, I like this more." Or this
because we just found you guys, which is so fucking cool, man. It's so cool to find. We like finding bands either by people telling us about it or just finding them organically, man. And
well, that's great. That's great for us because we've been going for like 12 years. So it's exciting when brand new like eyes are on you because it's like, cool, that's new because now a whole new group of people are finding us, and that's always a bonus, right? You want new fans. You don't want just
we're all same 10 from 12 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's good for us. We're always happy to like be reaching new people.
It's also nice having people like yourselves discover us, and you guys are in the US. Like we've never played in the US.
Yeah.
We're signed with Willow Tip, but they're US based, aren't they?
I think so.
So I think we probably get some reach through there. But like we've never actually done any shows in the US, so it's fucking cool that people are discovering the band 12 years after. That we're in places we've never played. It's pretty cool. Like we're in the UK. So it's nice that there's like a little bit of like a global reach out there as well. Yeah, pretty cool.
Well, it could also be very well from the dynamic, the shift in dynamic with Malika being a new vocalist. Sometimes having that change puts out a different vibration. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, that's cool. That's a new way to think about it, maybe.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, she also brings her own fan base with her because I don't know if you guys are aware of her old band's Abnormality, but they were US death metal going for many years, and we're getting a lot of people responding to the fact that Malika is in the band, who are just like, Malika's back, you know, and that's like a big, big reaction to the new song that you guys heard. Is people are happy to see her doing vocals again because she's been away for years, having kids and starting a family. So there's a lot of people coming at it from that angle who are just like, we miss Abnormality, we miss Malika, and now, you know, hopefully, it's a nice collaboration for people that, you know.
And we were kind enough to give her that opportunity.
Well, her voice,
why not?
Music.
Yeah, why not? She seems kind of cool. Yeah, let's give her a try.
Yeah, man. Has that? What I'm gonna continue what she was saying since she's been in the band, did you guys find that your playing is different, like going into different styles with her voice? Was that like a kind of like an inspiration maybe to create differently?
I don't think so. No, it's also like we've been adapting the sound of the band sort of slowly over the years. Kind of, it's just been an organic thing where we've, we're definitely different to how we started 12 years ago.
Yeah, the first album and now is night and day. But
I wouldn't say that's a direct
the DNA of the band's always been the same. I think the newer stuff is a bit more sort of like, I don't know, like I know that there's like bands like Ulcerate and like Worms that we sort of like, try and sort of like emulate some of that stuff. Like it's not, the earlier stuff was just sort of this like technical fucking punishment.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like the new song is like, as well as Malika's vocals, I think musically the song is like there's a bit more sort of like substance and no melody really, but there's like some of those like lead guitar parts that are like a bit more memorable.
I think we've constantly been trying to get towards the point where we when we were like starting the bands, we were in our early 20s and we just wanted to play as fast and technically as we could all the time and just trying to be as extreme as possible for the sake of it sometimes. Whereas like slowly over the years we've started learning how to write songs. As opposed to just like making.
You'd hope after 12 years that would happen.
Yeah. So we're never going to lose that edge. There will always be that like 22-year-old that's just like, I just want to do gravity blasts, But like we're slowly getting to the point where we can like write hooks and things like that make songs more palatable and enjoyable on repeat listens. Like we want to write songs that we enjoy listening to, not just playing now. Whereas back in the day, it was just like a technical exercise. Sometimes it felt like, when you go back and listen to it, it's like, why did we write this song? It's so hard. Like,
and also like, I don't think anytime soon there's going to be like a 6-minute acoustic middle eight like Opeth or. And there's not going to be a song of like just slam riffs or like symphonic background stuff. Whilst we love that stuff, like to listen to, like this band, the sort of the DNA and the theme of the band is very much going to sort of stay, brutal technical death metal. Technical brutal death metal, whichever way around it is. So.
I'd add one more element to it, man, because it makes me like when we listen to this shit in the apartment, it makes me like want to stomp. So you like stomp around like this and kick shit across the floor. That's why I love this band, dude.
So how about technical brutal stomp death metal? How's that?
There you go, man. We'll just keep adding to it.
We'll just build on it.
In 5 years' time, there'll be another 6 words added onto that list.
I know, man.
I gotta tell you, I always wondered how vocalists do that without completely tearing their vocal cords to shreds in 5 minutes. It's amazing to me. If I tried that, I'd have laryngitis for a week,
That's practice though, right? I mean, I'm sure she has a coach, right?
I don't know if she has one, but she's definitely taken it very seriously for a long time. Like we're saying, she's doing the Freddie Mercury warm-ups in the practice room, and before we play gigs and stuff. She's looking after her voice. She's been doing it a long time, and
Right.
It's kind of like anything, right? It's like I can't play drums without stretching and stuff first. She can't do vocals without doing the same stuff for her vocal cords.
Yeah, what was the video that we just did where she does the
it was her I think it was like her one take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just did that yesterday, man.
Oh my God.
And that's what was fun. And I want to go back to what you guys said earlier about her voice, because we were watching her do all the lows, and then she came up with their little screechy highs.
And it was like they were all going simultaneously, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" That's amazing.
Yeah, man, because you don't hear it a lot, like that kind of like I guess what is that production? I guess like the production of it, like
it's like layering.
Yeah, it was really cool, man. Yeah. That was a very cool song for us to watch and watch her. And again, we were talking about how like we were watching her and she just makes it look so fucking
breezy,
easy,
like
it's no problem. She just sits there and she just bam,
and it just falls out of her face with a smile.
That video was basically part of the like audition tapes she did for us. So although we we're pretty sure at that point we were going to get on, and if she was happy, she was going to join. But we did 2 songs, I think we got her to record, and then with that one we're just like, these recordings are so great. If you can do another one and get a video for it, we can maybe just stick it online, show people what we're doing. So yeah, that was pretty much her audition in a way. So it's it's cool because that's an old song, that one. So
wow, now she
compare it to the old stuff. Yeah, she killed it. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what we got to listen to, and then we were like, yeah, that's a yes from us.
Did a show in London, and
that's true. Because there was quite a big show coming up, a festival in London called Incineration, which has like the headliners were like Bloodbath and Emperor. So we were that we had that booked already. So we're like, if you can make this show, that'd be amazing, because then we don't have to pull out. And we just went ahead and played that with her straight off the bat.
Did one rehearsal the night before and then went on stage pretty much.
So
dude. Yeah, that's quick.
Baptism by fire.
It was fresh. Yeah. Then she did the audition tapes, and then
she hadn't even like that was pretty much her tryout.
Yeah, it was rapid. Yeah.
Now Malika is your fourth vocalist.
Fourth. Yeah.
Okay, now since your other ones were all guys, were you looking for a female for a change, or did you just say, "Hey, she can sing, man, she's it"? You didn't care who it was.
Pretty much
male or female.
Yeah, we didn't have many people on our shortlist, to be honest. No, there weren't like a ton of people we were looking at actively, and we hadn't got to the stage when we like wanted to open up to open auditions or anything like that. So it's always nice if you know someone like internally in the scene that you can just be like, who'd be perfect, like this person.
And to find someone that hasn't got another band or like isn't already fucking busy.
It's super rare.
Yeah, so
if they're good, they're going to be in a band.
Malika was sort of like, she ticked the boxes of, we already knew her, and we knew like, because there's also like one of the main things about getting a new member in is you want them to fit. Just forget the music, but like, do you want to spend hours traveling with them and hanging out with them?
For sure.
They could be an insane musician, but if they're a fucking pain in the arse, like, you know what I mean? So like, but we were like, well, we already know that she's cool as fuck. She's got no current band. She is a fucking beast on vocals. So it's like all the boxes, and she was like really keen to join. Like we didn't have to like beg. It just sort of like it was just one of those. I think we shot her a message just like, she might say, and she was just super keen. Yeah. So there was no real thought that went into it. It just kind of like just happened.
If we had like a bunch of other people who we were auditioning or something, I don't think. It definitely wasn't anything to do with her being a woman or anything like that. It was pretty much that she was just the number one person we wanted to ask, and then we got her, so we didn't have to ask anybody else. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's like it was predestined. It just all the pieces fell into place. That's amazing. I love that.
You made a great point. I mean, you could have, say, the greatest guitar player, greatest drummer, but if that guy's an egomaniac and an asshole, you're gonna ruin everything. So I play with a local band here, and that was always our first thing. Okay, like we needed to recruit a drummer a few years ago, and our thing was we need to be able to get along. We're going to be spending hours together. We're going to do shows together. We have to connect, and then we'll take it from there. So that's because people don't realize that. I mean, one person could ruin the whole situation if they're not on the same page.
It's like a family unit once you get on top. Like you have to get on, and like it's a real shame sometimes when you see other bands like their unit and how they function and stuff. If they don't get on, I just look at it and I'm like, how could you guys do that together? Like, is it really worth it? We're not making big bucks out here. We're like
making
we're making zero, and we're just doing this for the love of it. Like, why would you do that with people who aren't your best mates? You know what I mean? So
exactly, man, exactly. And that's one of the next question I was going to ask you guys. You haven't been over here to America. I'm assuming you guys tour regularly, all the time. When you do, man, how is it now? Because we're hearing things over here about how Europe is hard right now with touring. Whether it's the bus problem or it's merch problems and the clubs taking a lot of the band's money. Are you guys experiencing anything like that?
We haven't done a big proper tour since COVID, to be honest. So we've done mainly one-offs and small, like festivals and small runs and stuff. But we haven't experienced too much of that yet. We just have the problem where COVID happened, and then we had some other issues, and then Ben left, and so we've just run into a bunch of things that have slowed us down. So we haven't really got back to that like our busy schedule like we had before. So hopefully this year, that's why we released that single, which is because we wanted to put something out so we could just get back to gigging, because that's what it's all about. But no, I mean, our experience with Europe has always been great. So hopefully, hopefully things are just like we remember.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Lyrically, man, what's in your guys' heads lyrically?
We're definitely the wrong people to ask for that.
We don't have much to say with the lyrics.
No, that's not you guys.
It's a whole thing. I think we just like to look at the song names, and if it sounds cool, then we're like, that's cool. As long as the song name's like really,
we just do the rhythm.
Like, we just do all the hard work.
Let them lot up the front do all the talky stuff.
Yeah.
You guys are based in the UK, right?
Yeah. So the four of us live kind of in and kind of around London. And Malika lives in Prague, in Czech Republic.
Okay.
Oh, she's in Prague. Okay.
But she's originally from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So,
Really?
Yeah. So me and Doug are from the UK, England, and but Dan, guitarist, is from Ecuador, but he lives in London. And Ross is Italian, but lives in London. So we're a bit, where we're from. Yeah, we're kind of like, almost worldwide. But we say that we're from the UK, but technically only one of us was actually born here, because he was born in Australia.
Yeah.
So,
That's so cool, man.
And then we had ex-members from Italy as well, and Romania. So like we've never really been. It's very much a London band, because like London is like one of those cities where it's just a melting pot and people from everywhere. You know what I mean? So there's not actually that many Brits in this British band, but
at one time, Malika.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I said at one time Malika juggled multiple bands. Do you guys do the same? Or you guys?
We've done it. We've done it in the past, yeah.
Yeah, because I know fairly recently Malika was in like 3 or 4 different bands, maybe more.
Yeah.
Juggling them around. Abnormality, Castration.
Yeah.
I can't remember all of them, but
yeah, she did a few at the same time. I think that's probably one of the reasons why. Well, I'm not sure. I should have to comment, but
I think she's still doing Castration, right? But it's
Castrator.
Castrator, sorry.
Castrator.
But that's.
I think that's just a studio band. I don't think they play any shows or anything.
No,
or at least she doesn't.
But yeah, we've all sort of done that a little bit. I think the most I was in was like 4 bands. But
dude, how does that even work, man? How does that even work?
How do you compartmentalize your?
And how do you sleep?
That's a busy schedule, man.
You just hope that one of them is a studio project, which it was, and then it gets really rough. I do remember back in the day. Again, I was in my early 20s when it was really busy. There are points when you come off. I remember coming off one tour and then going straight to record with the other bands, stuff like that, and that was like gnarly, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So there's
that's rough, man.
Wow.
It's not. It starts becoming too much like a job at that point, and you have. Oh, and then you've got to remember you're not making any money, so you're spending the money. Like, you can't really do that unless.
If you were cashing massive checks at the end of the month.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah,
right. Yeah, you're constantly in the red, and you're like, sick. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, jump on another flight I can't afford. Awesome.
But it's good to just have like one.
I like it,
and then really focus on that one being really good.
Yeah, exactly.
What are some of your guys' influences musically?
What's that? What are our biggest influences?
What are some of your influences musically that got you into playing?
So like this band, or just like us as individuals? Those are 2 completely different answers. Like
as musicians.
As musicians, like
individual musicians.
As a musician myself, like I'm a guitar player. I'm playing bass in Unfathomable, but like for me it's like Dire Straits and like fucking Toto, Jimi Hendrix. Like
now you see it. Now you're speaking our language.
Right. So like aside from what we play, like what we actually listen to 9 times out of 10 is like old school stuff of fucking Genesis and the Police and stuff like that. But that was like it was whatever our parents were listening to, and then sort of stuff like early metal. I remember like it'd be like Metallica. Like my dad had an Aces High vinyl, like a 7-inch Iron Maiden vinyl, and I remember just like fucking hell, what's that? And like listen to that, and then it just sort of like it's the most boring fucking cliche answer, but it just sort of like spirals out of control. Like you hear Sepultura, and then you hear Slayer, and then you hear Cannibal Corpse, Death, and it's just and we somehow ended up listening to we're playing in this absolute whirlwind of noise. So
no one like starts off by listening to fucking Dying Fetus, do they?
Yeah,
and if they do, that's the first band you ever hear. You're fucking kidding yourself if you say you like it. You've got to start like it at the bottom and take the steps up towards getting into the really heavy shit. Which is part of the fun of it, right? Because then everyone feels like part of this like little club or whatever, and that's kind of part of what people like about it, right?
I remember the first time I heard Devourment when I was fucking like 15 or something, and I was like there was Butcher of the Week, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, and not particularly. I love Devourment, but at the time I was just like, I'm not sure if I like this. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of had to just like, I was like, but it was so fucked up and brutal, and like the production on that album was just mad.
Yeah.
So I was just like, once you get past, you start making stuff out, and you start getting past certain bits. I kind of just like pushed myself into listening to it because I knew that it was crazy and that I wanted to love it. But at first I was just like, I need to go back to my safe space, put Pantera on, like.
It's like, I think there's that part when you first hear like something really, really heavy or really brutal. I remember doing that with Dying Fetus at one point, but the first time it ever happened was it was the first metal album I ever bought was Rain and Blood by Slayer. And the first time I put it on, it just scared the shit out of me, and I didn't know what was happening. You know what I mean? And it took me so long to like, I kept coming back to it because I just found it so like interesting. But every time I listened to it, I was just like, I don't know what is happening. I couldn't even listen to like 3 songs in a row, because I'd just be like, my fucking head, what is happening? But then like, there's something so like, it's like watching a film that you find scary or something, right? And you eventually you kind of like that feeling, and then you get into it.
Oh, for sure.
And that was also going back to the influences. That for me, Slayer was like my big introduction to metal and metal drumming as well. So like Dave Lombardo for me was always
That's a
like,
good starting point, man.
Yeah, that's a great story. That's a great fucking starting point, man. Hey, one of the things I wanted to go back to a while ago, when you were talking about how when you guys, you don't make money at it, you do it because you love doing it. That's one of the things that I've asked bands over the years, and it just hit me while we were talking a few minutes ago. Like, metal is the only music that I know where bands will do that. I don't know of any other genre. Maybe there are, but for me, metalheads are always the loyal to the music, man. You guys have always stayed the course, man, like the underground bands. That's why what we want to do with this channel is give more bands like yourselves, the independent bands, the bands people may not know about. We want to give you guys a voice, because it's bands like yourselves that are the real music to us, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you got. Yeah, so thank you guys for that, because I just wanted to get that back in there, because you guys, as far as like independent bands and unsigned bands, those are the guys that are always out there keeping the scene alive. Yeah. So I just want to say thank you for that.
And
they play with their heart, man.
Yeah, it shows. It shows in your music. It shows in musicianship. You practice. You know what I mean? You guys put a lot of time into your music. You can feel it because you feel that shit, right? Because it wouldn't be brutal. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't, So I mean, yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing. I mean, we love it.
Hey guys, how important is it for like, let's say you guys got into a bigger stage? How important is would stage production be to you guys? Is that something that you guys would even think about, going back to like Slayer? You're talking about Slayer. Slayer used to have the upside down crosses and all the things. Do you guys, how do you guys feel about that?
That's definitely something we would explore if we could afford it. Anybody that's seen like Meshuggah live or like Rammstein or something like that. I mean, those stage shows are unbelievable. Like, they're next level. They're like an experience, in themselves. So I think it's something we would love to do. It's just it's all about like what's the next most important thing that we can afford, and it's never going to be that at this stage. You know what I mean? We just want to. We'll strive towards that, and there are bands who do it on a smaller level. Guys like Aborted. I don't know if you guys know Aborted, but
we know Aborted.
Yeah, they have members from all over now, including a few Americans. But they've been grinding the scene for so long, and they're just renowned for being a really great, tight, insanely good band. And their production value has just gone up over the years. Now, when you see them live, they're getting to that stage where they can, afford to have like their own sound guy and lighting guy and all this shit. It's like perfect every time you see him.
Even then, like, I think like the focus will, for any of us, and I imagine it's with those guys, and it definitely with us. Like, the focus is on the performance. The most extravagant that, like, as far as like stage production would go, is like just cool backdrops or good lighting or whatever. Like, what I'll be lying if I said I don't want to fucking shoot fireworks out the end of my guitar. Like, I've seen Kiss and Rammstein live, blew my dick off when I saw them. Yeah. And it'd be awesome to do, but I think like
we'd rather be known for like just, and it's something we've always like prioritized as well. That it's hard to hear from just listening to the CDs or whatever, but we've always prioritized having like a really high energy show when we play live. So hopefully, if we do ever come to the States or whatever, you guys ever get to see us live, you'll get to see we do try and tear it up and
try to keep an intensity, and that's
something we can do for free. So that's cool.
I feel like if you can start with that and then add stuff to it, like if
the core of like us just going mental on stage is enough, like you can have no lights or just fucking the house lights on, and hopefully people still be like, those guys fucking rule live.
Like Defeated Sanity is one that strikes me. That like I've seen them playing like fucking cardboard boxes in front of 6 people, and they fucking destroy it. And they've got this in Defeated Sanity,
in
Germany.
Another technical.
Another craze. Check them out. In terms of like our like band influences, or like who we would like aspire to be, like, or would really idolize, like Defeated Sanity are right up there. But like I've watched them play in front of like 10 people in a tiny little room, and they just fucking crush. No, nothing other than them.
That kind of makes it cooler in a way sometimes when you see bands that they don't need anything extra. They could just walk on stage, play,
be super intense,
and the whole room is just like, these guys just destroyed the stage.
Yeah, people just looking at each other like,
they didn't need anything else. There wasn't even a strobe light inside.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that. Like that. It's just that's just them.
Yeah.
So then add a few smoke machines and a backdrop, and it
it becomes next level.
If they can crush in a tiny room with no one there, like that's the dream, really.
Yeah.
Doug, Michael.
I said that's the key. I agree with what he just said there.
Right the fuck on, man. Hey, one of my favorite things, guys, is merch, man. How crazy do you guys go on merch? Do you what's the craziest merch item that you have?
I'd say the craziest one we ever had was when we put ourselves as do you remember like the Manowar covers with the guys?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, we used to have one with all our faces on all the dudes, like holding the swords up, and then my face was on one of the chicks with like the big tits underneath, like in like the pile of girls at the bottom. That was pretty good.
Unfathomable Ruination of War, I think it's called.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, right now we're trying to restock on everything, so we should have new lines of everything coming out soon. But we've got like
loads of hats you got hoodies, man? Do you have hoodies?
I'm not sure. I don't think we do. I know that Willow, our record label Willow Tip, have like a US store that they sell stuff that I don't think I've ever seen in person.
Yeah,
I think that's mainly
man.
I think that's that's mainly sort of like merch focused around our last album, Enraged and Unbound.
Yeah. If they still have stuff in that, then
yeah, possibly. And then we've done some bits and bobs. We've got like some hats and some different t-shirt designs and some shorts and stuff like that. But yeah, check it out. Yeah, we're that's a UK based store, so it's shipping times and prices jump considerably if you're in.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, there's sort of one store for one place and one store for another place. So depends where you live.
It gets quite pricey.
But yeah, no, we're going to be restocking a bunch of stuff soon. So
watch
space kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Hey, going back to that production thing, you guys did that sculpture in the city in that airtight.
Yeah.
Right. Is that something you guys normally do on your shows, or is this something like a statement thing you only did once? Or
that was
sounds crazy to me.
Much. So I don't know if you guys know the whole story there, but yeah, that was very much.
We don't.
That was not our idea. So we basically got approached by, I believe, he's Portuguese artist who he'd done the same thing before with a different bands. But it's basically, he called it box-sized die, and it was basically like a 2 meter by 2 meter box, something like that, which had a door in it that you would open and close. And when it was sealed, it was just a completely solid cube from the outside. You wouldn't be able to see in. There was no light, and no sound would escape it either, so it was soundproof. And then he basically wanted a death metal band, specifically a death metal band, to play inside the box, and then he would seal it shut, and they would play for as long as possible before they ran out of air. And
that's some dangerous shit, man.
Yeah, he set it up so it was in the middle of central London.
It was in the financial district in London, I think.
Yeah, it was right outside the Gherkin, which is the famous building there, like a skyscraper building. And so we would go there at like, I think we did it every day for like 2 weeks or something. And we'd go there at like first thing in the morning when guys are going to work. So it'd be like 8 a.m, and guys with briefcases would be getting off the underground, and they'd be walking past this box, and we'd start playing for like 2 minutes with the door open. And this thing was so small, I only had like 2 cymbals set up, because it was like there wasn't enough space for a full drum kit in there. And we had like tiny little combo amps and stuff. And then we'd be playing and making all this like racket. And then there'd be a security guard who'd just close the door, lock the handle, and then pull the handle off. So like there was just nothing on the outside. And then we would just play for as long as we could. And then we had like an emergency release on the inside. So when we we're gonna die or whatever, we would open the door.
Man.
Dude,
I've never heard of
what
anything
the
like that
fuck,
before.
man?
It was very weird. Yeah, it was so weird, and we don't know why he asked us. It was like so surreal, and then it got on loads of news outlets and stuff. This is probably like 2014 or something. This is a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah. I've never heard of anything like that in my life.
Or like Fox News there or some shit.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's on CNN. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh
it
my
blew up
God,
on
they
Reddit
would
and
check it
stuff.
out.
Yeah, we had like there was like American networks out there. It was fucking weird.
If you search death metal band runs out of oxygen or something, it will
Crazy.
come up.
Yeah, dude, I've never heard of somebody doing
It was
that.
not our
David
idea.
Blaine
We
shit.
also had like artists and stuff speaking to us, which was hilarious because like they'd be wanting to speak to him, the guy behind it all, and they'd be like asking us what we thought about it all, because it was also part of like it was a part of like art month or something in London. So there'd be sculptures and stuff all around that kind of area, like more traditional things, and they'd be coming up to us and talking to us about like, oh no, what do you guys think about all this? And we're just like, I have no idea what's going on, man. Like they're just gonna play this. Yeah. It was very weird, but it was quite fun.
So how long did you guys last,
how long
man?
did you last?
I think the longest we made it was like 22 minutes.
Oh, wow.
With no air?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you have as much air as there is when he closes the door. So yeah, it was also like pretty rough sometimes, because sometimes you come out and there wouldn't be that many people there, and then one or two of the times we came out and there were like cameras everywhere and loads of people, and you come out obviously just like red in the face, just dripping with sweat.
Oh
like,
man.
You know what I mean? And you're just like, and everyone's like clapping and stuff. You're like, please don't look at me right now. I just want to like lie down, drink water. Like,
Hey, would you guys please torture ourselves for my art project here?
it was really surreal. It was really weird.
Oh wow, man. But that's cool. I mean, hey, at least you can say you've done that. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah.
By the way, we
That's
locked
cool.
ourselves in a box.
Yeah. And
Yeah, we almost died.
Yeah. How about new music, guys? What's going on with maybe a new record soon?
We started writing for the next album, which will be the fourth album.
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't actually have like a date in mind. Our plan was to just gig as much as we can this year, mainly because we miss it, to be honest.
Oh, of course.
I bet.
And, studio time is
Symphony
fun.
of Dissonance is going to be on a new one, ain't it?
Say again.
Symphony of Dissonance, or that's going to be on a new one, isn't it?
Yeah, we should at the very least put that on as like if we don't end up re-recording it, we'll probably just drop it on as a bonus track or something like that.
The plan was just to leave it as just a standalone single, but
I think it's nice to have it on.
Yeah, we can add it as sort of like a bonus track on the album, I think.
Yeah, for people to buy it. Yeah, but
people want songs, because we're not doing a physical release of that single. It's just sort of YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music. Because it's sort of a bit financially. Or are we talking about releasing it on a split, aren't we?
Yeah, we're talking about doing it on a split, which we haven't done, which would be cool.
But yeah, we're going to do like a split 7-inch, like one song, and then another band with one song, because doing like a vinyl pressing of a single song for one band is financially dumb as fuck.
Yeah, we think we'd learn after all these years to do like spend our money better, but we just don't.
At least I think even Willow Tip were like, "Why do 2 or 3 songs, not just one?" Like that. It's not financially viable. So,
but we wanted to get it out as fast as possible, so we wrote one song and we're like, "Go record it now," and then we did that.
Yeah.
See, that's what I like, man. Again, you guys are doing like. I'm glad that you guys. I know you're talking about finances and shit, but it's cool that bands are still doing the splits, man. You know, these 7-inch splits and things, man. That's very. A lot of people don't care about it anymore, but it's things like that, man, that just really. It just makes me happy, man, that the bands still do that type of thing, because a lot of people still like the physical. You know?
Yeah, it's fun. It's like I've seen we played with bands recently who have like fucking singles and tapes and shit. It's like
I love it.
Yeah, we've seen that. That's like making like some kind of comeback and shit. It's pretty cool.
It makes zero sense, but
I probably wouldn't. I probably would not buy cassettes, because I just, I've still
got a Walkman in the drawer over there. But like, I'm not like, it's like as fun as it would be to bust it out and like listen to someone's tape, I'm probably just gonna listen to it on Spotify. Like,
yeah, that's me. That's me, dude.
Faster, yeah.
It's just so easy, man. You know, and it's button. Go ahead, Doug.
Most of the people I was talking to at that show, because you know we played with like 10 bands and everyone's merch is all laid out, and I saw the cassettes and I was like, what the fuck are you selling cassettes for? Like, you know,
it's so great.
And, but like,
see them and they want to,
and that's it. Like the band were saying, they were like, I don't think anyone actually plays them, but like collectors, fans of the bands, all that sort of stuff.
For sure.
They're just people, you know. I think like, I mean, I've got a bunch of vinyls. Like, I've got all our albums on vinyl and various other bands, and I don't actually have a record player at home.
Yeah.
But like, you buy certain stuff for certain bands that you love, you know, regardless of what format it is.
Right.
Absolutely.
And the cassettes are always like, they're all done on like, they've got really cool printing on, and they're like funky colors, or so I think like
cool.
they're just and they're you know, they're cheap as fuck as well, you know. So like vinyls are expensive, but cassettes, they were selling them for like, you know, $5-6, $5-6 or whatever. So like it was like, well, yeah, I would buy that. But I don't think anyone's like rushing home and putting it in their cassette player. Like,
because at least
I don't either.
At least vinyl, there's like the argument that like it sounds better, right? But like you cannot say that at all. It's like not true.
You got to rewind it at the end.
It sounds like dog shit.
Yeah, man. We all remember. We all grew up with that stuff, man. You're playing your Walkman, and then the battery runs out.
Yeah,
you got to go find 6 batteries or 8 batteries.
Yeah, the tape spits out, and you got to rewind it with a pencil.
And you're like sitting there.
Yeah, exactly.
So
guys,
taping that shit back together.
Yeah, exactly. Said no one ever.
Yeah.
So guys, what is your what's your following like over there in the UK? Your fans?
Yeah, it's good. We played again in London recently. Like, we try not to play London too much because you don't want to oversaturate. But whenever we have a show come up, it's always pretty packed and people respond really well to it. You know, we've had a pretty good following since the band started, to be honest. So yeah, it's good.
Most places in the UK as well, and like Europe, like some of the shows we've done in Europe. Like, I think like Europe's kind of different. Like, we love the UK, but I don't know. Some of the European shows just people just go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The hospitality is lovely playing in Europe as well. Like, the hospitality is second to none in most countries. So yeah, like the only show we've got booked this year is this show in Switzerland, which we've actually played that festival before, not with Unfathomable, but with one of our other bands, and it's like in the mountains in Switzerland. Ooh. And it's like fucking picturesque. It's like, we had so much fun when we went there. We get treated like kings, like you get fed and limitless alcohol, and it's just like, oh my god. You sleep in like a ski cabin, like in the it's like you get that little taste of like, oh yeah, this is rock and roll, and then you fly home and it's all back to normal again. You're like,
I'd keep you in check, man.
So would you say that's your favorite place to play, or you know, what is your favorite place to be at, like, when you go to a show?
I don't know if I've got a specific like one ever, but I mean, places like that are great. Switzerland's amazing. Every time I play Switzerland, it's always been amazing.
There's different ways of looking at it, like what the whole thing is. Like that festival is like, whilst the crowd's great and the stage is great and there's always a good lineup in that, but it's like where it is and the stuff because the set's only like 40 minutes long or whatever. There's hours and hours before and after that, you know, those things kind of factor into it as much, if not more than.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing I always tell people if they don't understand why you're in a band and you make zero money. It's like, let me tell you what I'm doing this weekend. I'm going to go to the airport. I'm going to get picked up in a car. I'm going to get driven 2 hours into the mountains, into the middle of nowhere, where like the air is so fresh and the scenery is so beautiful. It's like I'm on holiday, except I'm doing it all for free. They're going to ply me with booze all night long, feed me, and then I get to play a set in front of loads of people that want to see your bands. They're all going to go mental. You get like huge adrenaline highs, sell a bunch of merch, blah blah blah, and then you get wrecked with a bunch of your bros because you're going to be playing with a bunch of other bands, you know. And you wake up hungover and you just hang out all day, drink coffee, and then you get taken home. It's just like, you can't get better than that. That's my perfect weekend.
No, man. Right on.
Yeah, I mean, we would pay to do all that.
Yeah.
But if a promoter's happy enough and willing enough to pay us to do it,
yeah, exactly.
Then why not? So whenever we sort of like, whenever I've commented about the financial stuff, like it's not that big a deal. But like, when you play those shows, you do count yourself lucky that we're given these opportunities to do stuff like that.
Yeah,
we're very lucky.
It's like little bits of living the dream, you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, man, guys, let me just tell you, man, I can't even. I love this conversation that we've had, man, because now I feel like we both feel like now we know you guys better, man, and it just it's so cool for me to see bands like you who actually you live it, you love it, and you live it, and it's nice for us because we were out of the scene for a while, just metal in general. We just had life things going on, and once we got back into music during 2020, we started finding all these bands we'd never even heard about that have been around for a while, man. So first of all, thank you guys for the music that you're putting out, because like I said, it makes me stomp and throw shit.
It's
and
amazing.
kick, it's a great release for me, man. I'm looking forward to hearing more of your stuff, man. Both of the video we did the other day and the first video we did just blew me away, man. So I just want to say thank you guys for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a huge compliment.
And we would love at some point, maybe throughout the year, to be able to, check back in with you guys, see how you're doing. If that would be cool, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Unfortunately, we'll never be able to, or very rarely be able to be in the same room, like, because we're all so spread out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could, we'll try and get the others on a call as well, or
well, we have that ability. We can do that. I think we can have up to 100
something like
we
that.
can have up to like 100 people. So yeah, that's doable.
Or if,
I don't know why we would use 100 people, but you can do it.
I wouldn't even know how you would rotate people. But
either that, or like when we next, because we meet up and rehearse every so often, so maybe we can try and coincide that, and that we can,
I hope so, man.
Oh yeah,
because we really love you guys, dude.
Yeah,
like this is like, when we watch when we see a band like you guys, where like I've said before, where it just like punches us and we feel it, and that band is actually real and they're actually feeling it. So thank you. Yeah, we're hooked, man. We're hooked on you guys now, man.
Absolutely.
Anytime you guys need whatever, any promoting over here or whatever you want, just hit us up. Let us know, man, because we really want to get into this band,
and we would love to get you here.
So. Yeah. Get you here to America.
We haven't done the States ever, so
we're trying. We're that's the goal this year or next year, probably, because
we need to go stateside now. It's like one big place we haven't really been.
It's a bit, and for musicians from the UK and Europe, like it's a bit of like a bucket list. Like, where would you want to play? Like, when I decide to stop doing this, if I can look back and go, yeah, we fucking did a big tour in the US. You can die happy knowing that you did that. And I think it's the same. Lots of US bands that come over to Europe and the UK say the same thing. Like, they always want to tour the mainland.
Well, he's probably sick of playing America. And we're like, we want to go.
Yeah.
She's like,
we want.
Do you guys have any plans on Bakken or Bloodstock? Have you been approached with anything like that?
We're in the process of applying to everything right now. We're just like, unfortunately, I think a lot of them are turning around and saying like next year. So maybe our 2024 is going to start looking busier than 2023 at this stage.
Because of COVID as well. There's like, they lots of festivals 2020, 2021 got cancelled or pushed back. So there's kind of like a backlog. So it's gonna take a few years before those festivals are caught up with.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool, because by the time you get to Wacken, you'll just slay it all, man.
Right.
You'll slay the whole fucking place.
We'll have a new album by then as well. So
yeah. Doug Michael.
Yes.
What would you like to say to the guys before we leave?
I just heard of you, and I just saw the video recently, but I was very impressed, and I wish you guys the best of luck. Hopefully we'll see you over here someday, man.
So that's the plan.
That'd be sick.
That's the plan.
Ryan?
No, man, I mean, I'm pretty new to you guys too, man. I mean, but I love your guys' music.
Yeah.
You know, I wish you all the best in everything you do.
Thanks,
And
man.
just keep releasing stuff, man. You guys got a fan with me, man.
Yeah, right on, man.
Appreciate it. Love that.
Yes, and thank you so much again for being on with us today. It has made us so very happy, and
Yeah,
thank
man.
you for doing what you do, man.
Yeah.
You guys, brutal as shit, man. I just it's like he said, it's a release, you know. And when you feel it and you connect to it, it's real, dude. So
yeah. So thank you
so
guys.
much.
Thank you again, man.
Thank you guys as well. For the
And
video.
stick around with us right after we're done here, guys. All right, guys, that is the end of this edition of Fresh Roasted Metal, man. If you're still with us now, give us the big thumbs up. Just don't give us the finger, because that sucks, man. And if you would like to hit that subscribe button, if you want to, you don't have to, please do. And check out Unfathomable Ruination, guys. Go show them some love. Go to Spotify. Go check them out. You will not be fucking disappointed.
Not at all.
All right, guys, we will see you next week on Fresh Roasted Metal. Peace.
Later.
Jesus.
Peace.